All right, graphing. Let's start with easy ones. This is very easy. So what you want to do with all of these graphs is you want to start analyzing them by filling this stuff out and then graph it. All right, so let's just do, I think you can do this one by yourself, right? You have a question.
So if you don't have an x in the numerator, you still check the degree.
Yeah, the degree on the top is 0 because x to the 0 is 1. Okay, so you should be able to do this, right? Yeah? Okay, go ahead and do this one, graph it, let me know when you're done. All right, let's do this together before we get too crazy. I think we stopped at G1. G1, what is the domain? Domain is what makes the denominator 0. That's what we have to exclude. So what can x not equal to? Isaiah, what do you think the range is? You skip that. How about vertical asymptote? Then Josiah, horizontal asymptote? Okay, maybe Lauren got this. What is the range?
Y can equal 0.
Yeah. All right, back to Snow. What is the x-intercept? No. Carries?
No.
Yes. There's no x-intercept. If you make this 0, you multiply it over, you get 0 equals 2. That makes no sense. Actually, there is nothing in the numerator that has an x, so there's no x-intercept. Leon, did you get the y-intercept? Good. Okay, so now we have everything we need to graph. Vertical asymptote is at y equals 1. X equals 1. Horizontal asymptote is y equals 0. We have a point at 0, -2. 0, -2. So we have no x-intercept, so it's not going to cross the x. And this is a simple graph with only 2 asymptotes. Just draw that. Again, if you want a very precise graph, please just write a table and then just plug in all your values. You'll be able to generate a graph. All right, let's try another one. This one. This also should be pretty easy. Go ahead and try it, and then we're going to start again with math. Okay, what is the domain? Matt.
Oh. X can equal -2.
Jeff, what is the range?
Y can equal 1.
Alan, where is the vertical asymptote?
X equals -2.
Brooklyn, horizontal asymptote?
Y equals 1.
Jackson, x-intercept?
0.
Nick, y-intercept?
0, -1.
Okay, let's graph. So x is equal to -2 is the vertical asymptote. Y equals 1 is the horizontal asymptote. We have an x-intercept at y 1, 0, and then y-intercept at 0, -1/2. So this graph has to look like this, and then the other side like that. Any questions? Yes.
So for these ones, the range, how would you solve the range?
Range is just not the horizontal asymptote. That's it. So this is the most simple graph that you'll ever see. Now we're gonna do harder ones. So this really requires that you kind of think about it a little bit. So we're gonna skip this next one because it's pretty much the same. We're gonna go to the next one. This one. Okay, what should we do first? Yes, we always want to factor first. We want to see what is going on in its lowest, form, most simplest form. Okay, so now that we have it factored, what is the domain? Plus minus 2. All right, we're going to skip range because for now it's a little hard to see. Where do you think the vertical asymptote is? 2 and? -2. Okay, so plus minus 2 again. Where is the horizontal asymptote? Check the degrees.
None. 1.
Huh? No. 0. Okay, the degree on the top is 1. The degree in the bottom is 2. So it's smaller on the top, which is y equals 0. Are there any holes?
No.
Yeah, none, because nothing cancels. X-intercept. Where is the x-intercept? 1, 0. Where is the y-intercept? 1/4. 0, 1/4. Okay, so it's easier if we write it in terms of the coordinate itself and then the equation for the asymptotes, because then when we graph, we know exactly where we're going. Okay, once you analyze that whole thing, you're going to put everything you know on this graph. We have actually 2 vertical asymptotes. We have 1 horizontal asymptote at 0. We have 2 points that we know. 1, 0. Notice 1, 0 is directly on my asymptote. This is where don't be alarmed that, it's fine. It's okay to cross the horizontal asymptote. It's never going to cross the vertical asymptote. Okay, we have another point at 0, 1/4. Okay, that's not enough to tell me how the graph will look like. So what we want to do now is we have no choice but to put in a lot of different numbers to figure out what's going on. So I don't know what's going on here at all. I don't know whether the graph is gonna switch. Oh, sorry. I don't know if the graph is gonna look like this or the graph is gonna look like this. So I need more points. And I don't know what's going on here. Is the graph gonna be up here or down here? I don't know. So what we wanna do now is just put in some points. Okay, so I'm gonna tell you the trick on doing these. So the whole idea of asymptote is that it's pulling the graph towards the asymptote. It's like a magnet. It's like pulling towards it. So as long as we know which section that one point is, we can just draw the graph. We don't have to have a lot of points. So, all right, so let me show you. I'm going to do this on the side. X, Y. So I'm going to try to figure out what's going on -3. All I want to do is know, is it going to be on the top or is it going to be on the bottom? That's it. Because I know the asymptotes are going to draw the graph towards it. But I just want to know, is it on the top or is it on the bottom? So I'm only going to put in -3. I don't need to put -3, -4, -5, -6. It's going to tell me the same information. All right, I do need a point at -1 because I want to know if the graph is going to go up or is it going to go down. And then I need a point at 3. So this is like the least amount of work I'm going to do to get to my answer. All right, so let's go ahead and put in -3. So sometimes it's easier to just put it in the factored form. So let's put in -3. -3 minus 1 over -3 plus 2 times -3 minus 2. All right, -3 minus 1 is -4. -3 plus 2 is -1, and then that is -5. So what is this answer? -4/5. All right, that tells me at -3 it's -4/5, so down here. So that's enough information to tell me that my graph is going to go like this. Because I know it's not going to cross over the horizontal axis. Again, it never crosses the vertical asymptote anyways. So knowing that one point is in that section tells me that the graph will just try to get to the asymptote and try to get to the horizontal asymptote. Okay? Does that make any sense to you guys? Yeah. Okay, so all I want to know is it on the top or is it on the bottom? All right, I'm going to put in -1 and see what happens there. -1 minus 1 over -1 plus 2 times -1 minus 2. That is -2 over 1 times -3. So what is that? 2/3. 2/3 is here. So it's going up. So that tells me that the graph is gonna do this. Okay. So I know these 2 points, the x-intercept and the y-intercept. The next point I know is slightly higher. Slightly higher means that the graph is going to trend to go up. Okay, last point, 3. 3 minus 1 over 3 plus 2 times 3 minus 2. 2 over 5 times 1. 2/5. So 2/5 is here. That means the graph is just gonna go towards the asymptote. Yeah, question.
Why isn't the horizontal asymptote stopping the graph in the middle from going?
Yeah. So horizontal asymptote by definition means where does the graph go at the 2 ends? So the 2 ends are going to 0, but near the center, it could cross. Yeah. Yes.
So how do we know which numbers to choose for the table?
I just basically choose all the integers. Yeah.
So everything that's not, or so the outside ones like -3 and 3. Because
Yeah, because those are small and close to the asymptote. You can pick 6 or whatever number you want. Doesn't really matter.
Okay.
Any other questions? Okay, then what is the range?
Why can't equals?
All real numbers. You can see that the graph is crossing everywhere, right? On the y-axis, in the y direction, sorry. So then it's all real numbers. It even crosses the horizontal asymptote because we have a point at 1, 0. Okay, so this is, getting to the hard stuff. Okay, let's have you try this one. Or let's try it together. This one is pretty tricky. Okay, what is the first thing you do? Factor. X minus 2 over x minus 2 times x plus 2. Make sure everybody's here with me. What is the domain?
X equals
All right, skip range for now. What is the vertical asymptote? X equals -2 only? Yes, because this cancels. Then what does that mean about the one I canceled? It's a hole. So I know there is a hole at 2. And then I said today that we are going to find the y portion of this hole. So we're going to do that. Where is the horizontal asymptote? Y equals 0. The degree on the top is smaller than the degree on the bottom. X-intercept. Where's the x-intercept? None. Yeah.
Because the whole.
Right, because the hole, yes. Y-intercept.
1/2.
1/2, yes. Okay, let's find the hole. So this is where it gets a little bit tricky. To find the hole, you need to simplify this expression. So this is 1 over x plus 2. If I simplified it, right? I just canceled out the factor. Then we're going to plug in the 2 for the hole into the simplified expression. So I know that there is a hole at 2. I don't know where the y value is. I'm going to plug this into the simplified expression. That's going to tell me where the hole is. So this is very tricky. A lot of people miss it every year. Plug it into this. What's going to happen if you plug it into the original one? 0 over 0. So then still undefined. You got to plug it in here. So where is the y coordinate of this hole? 1/4. So that means there is a hole at 2 and 1/4. Okay, this is a little tricky. Let's graph. X equals -2. Y equals 0. Those are my asymptotes. I have no x-intercept. Y-intercept is at 0, 1/2. I have a hole at 2, 1/4. See how I drew a little bit of a little circle here at 2, 1/4. Okay, so this is basically a graph that looks like this. Bless you. Okay, without doing much work, this is how the graph looks like. There is a hole there. How do you know for sure this graph is going to look like this? The graph will always look like the reduced function. Whatever the reduced function is, that is the graph. So now let's talk about range. Where does y not equal to? 0, yes, it's not equal to 0. The graph is never crossing 0. And one other place. 1 what?
4.
Yes, where the hole is. The graph has to skip the horizontal asymptote and that hole. The y portion of the hole. Are you guys okay so far? This is pretty tricky. Let me find another one that has a hole for you guys to do. Let's skip to the next. Let me see. Okay, this one. Yeah, right below. What's the first thing we do? Factor x minus 1 over x plus 2, x minus 1. Okay. Let's have you fill out as much as you can. We're going to do the whole together and the graph. So do as much as you can. What is the domain?
X can't equal 1 or -2.
1 or -2. Vertical asymptote.
X equals -2.
Y horizontal asymptote. Y equals 0. Where is the hole? 1 and now that we know what to do, we're gonna solve it. 1 and 1/3. Okay, good. So that cancels. It gives me a reduced function of 1 over x plus 2. I'm gonna plug that 1 into 1 over x plus 2. That gives me 1/3. Okay, x-intercept. None. Y-intercept. 0, 1/2. Okay, let's go ahead and graph, and we're gonna look at the range. X is -2. Y is 0. 1 1/3 is my hole. So 1 1/3 is approximately right there. 0 1/2 is slightly higher. That tells me my graph is gonna go like this. Without doing a lot of work. So, range, y not equal to what? 0 and, not 1/2, 1/3. Okay? All right. Yeah.
Is that a circle in your graph?
Yes, that's where the hole is. 1 1/3.
I was wondering if that was a circle. If that's a graph.
Okay, so let's have you try one more, and then we're gonna write in our cheat sheet. Let's try the one we skipped then. Did we skip one?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Oh, I'm on day 3. Let's do this one then. Okay, first you want to factor. So this is x plus 2, x minus 2 over 3 times x minus 2. That tells me there's a hole, and my reduced function is x plus 2 over 3. All right, let's start with Juan. What is the domain?
Yes, cannot be -2.
Not -2. Two. I think you factored wrong or something. X can't be 2. Okay, Isaiah, vertical asymptote?
X equals 2.
No. There's nothing. If it cancels, it's a whole. Okay, Josiah, horizontal asymptote? Yes. Lauren, whole?
2
2 4/3.
4/3.
Yes. Brooklyn, x-intercept.
None.
There is a x-intercept. Jackson, did you find it?
No, -2.
Yeah, -2, 0. Nick, y-intercept.
2/3,
0
0.
2 3.
Oh, that's, yeah.
Okay, let's go ahead and graph. -2 0, there's a point. 0 2/3, there's a point, and then 2 4/3 is a whole. Okay, we don't have enough to figure out how this looks like. However, I said it will look just like this. You might not have recognized what that is, but if I simplify it, you'll see what it is. It is basically 1/3 x.
Plus 2/3.
Yes, plus 2/3. 1/3 x plus 2/3 is what shape?
Linear equation.
Yeah, it's linear equation. It's a line, right? So actually, this is just a line like that. Okay, so if you have no idea how this is going to look like, you can always just put in more points. Okay, let's do the cheat sheet.